my grandmother was right. The boogeyman was real.
Gymtown Commandos! Heavy Metal Hillbilly here, aka the Finnician. It's been a little while, but I've been doing some projects, some things here and there. And I've got to report in. Sorry for the delay, but I went and viewed, through a specialized encrypted screening, the new Halloween film, Halloween Kills, as it's called. And I have to say, I thought we had taken care of this Michael Myers character back in the 80s. You know, I thought Loomis put 6 shots in him. 6 shots! Didn't stop the guy, apparently. And he got carted off to Smith Grove, okay? And he terrorized the babysitters. Laurie Strode survived. Happy ending, right? Well, not too happy. Because he got out on a Halloween night recently. Went back to Haddonfield. Rained some terror on the citizens again. And, you know, Michael, he's got a thing for these babysitters, I guess. I don't know. It's a fantasy. You know, it's every guy's fantasy. But he takes it a little too far. He's got some sadism in him. So anyway, we got the new installment out. Came out this past weekend, Halloween Kills. And we see that from the previous film, Laurie sets a death trap for Michael in her compound, traps him, gets the fire going, and, you know, and it looks like Michael's done for. You know, I have to say, she set a good trap, laid a good plan, you know, just like a master strategist such as myself would do. And happy ending, right? Well, apparently not. Because firefighters go out to the house, attempt to put the flames out, whatnot, you know. And the only thing that gets snuffed out is their life. I mean, because Michael gets out. And, you know, I can't fault the firefighters on this one. You know, they're just there trying to do their job. And as they're doing their job, Michael does his job and wipes out an entire crew of firefighters. There is one scene, though, that I think is pretty interesting. I think it's a tribute to Dirty Dancing. And they try to recreate the dance scene between Baby and the dancer character, Patrick Swayze, lifting up in the air. I think Michael and the firefighter do a good job of recreating that. I think it's a nice tribute to Dirty Dancing. I'll post an image here. You can take a look. You know, comparison. I think it's you tell me who did it better. Who did it better, huh? Patrick Swayze or Michael Myers and our public servants? Yeah? Okay, you tell me. So anyway, Michael gets out of this fire predicament. And Laurie and her granddaughter and daughter, they head off to the hospital because they're messed up from the previous film a little bit. Well, basically Laurie. The other ones are, okay, scratches and bumps and things. And then as they're at the hospital, word gets out. Michael Myers has escaped. He's back in the town. And we have some more recurring characters. Tommy Doyle from the very first movie in '78. He's back, along with the other girl he was being babysit with by Laurie. They're there. Name slips me. Marion, the nurse. That was Dr. Loomis's assistant. She's there. And they're commemorating their surviving of Michael Myers and so on, and how the town has been affected by Michael Myers and such. And, well, then word gets out that Michael Myers is back, of course. Vigilante squads are formed. Tommy Doyle says, we got to kill him. We're going to stop him tonight. And he gets a little band together, and basically a lot of the town gets into a little hissy over all this. And we kind of see what happens when an unregulated force of fear happens, which I thought was an interesting part of the film. I thought they show really what a before you're sure of who is who and what is what could happen when a vengeful mob gets out of control. But in the meantime, Michael is going around, and let me tell you something. I've seen some people manhandle today back in the old hillbilly hills of Tennessee. You know, I've seen some brute force. You know, I've seen Mule Franklin get unleashed, and Michael Myers is like a Mule Franklin times 10. Actually, you guys are not going to know. You're not going to know who Mule Franklin is. I'm not going to get into it. Let's just say what the man lacked in mental capacity, he made up for in physical capacity. Okay. Well, Michael Myers is this like times 20, and I have to hand it to the filmmakers. The way they choreographed the kills, and Michael manhandled some people. I mean, absolutely manhandled some people. And I mean, he was a terror to be reckoned with. And kudos to the filmmakers on that one. So anyway, the film goes on. They finally figure out who Michael is, and some things after some kills and some cool atmospheric, tense moments in the film. They seem to have him cornered, and some things happen, and there's some things explained as to why Michael is Michael. Because let's face it, after all these films, people are going to start thinking, okay, this is ridiculous. Nobody can get hit this many times, shot, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Loomis in the first one shot him 6 times, and he got up and walked away. Yeah. So anyway, there's a little bit of an attempt from the writers to actually explain this in a good storytelling way. And I thought this was good. I liked this. And the way they have to defeat Michael is not by physical means or brute force, so to speak. And it leads up to another installment coming maybe next year. So, with all that said, they added elements, some social commentary, which it wasn't very preachy, so that's good. I don't mind a little social commentary. And then they added the horror elements. Let's talk about some of the pros of this movie. Let's talk about some of the pros. So our pros are the kills. When Michael comes to take care of business, he takes care of it, and the filmmakers don't shy away from showing this on screen. Very, very effective kills, and very visceral. To really make what a killer should... you don't root for the killer, necessarily. Well, you have your fans, of course, for these films. But something that if encountered, this guy's scary. It's scary what he does to people in this film. Fantastic. Another pro, I think the acting was really good. I think there's some criticisms out there about the acting or something maybe, but I think the acting was good. A good cast. You had good people playing Laurie Strode, of course, and all the other people, Sheriff Hawkins and all these people. Very established actors. They even bring back some of the actors from the very first Halloween film. Sheriff Beckett, the girl that was Tommy Doyle's friend. I can't place her name. She was the little girl in the original film, also along with Marion, the nurse. Very cool. And number 3, I thought was a pro, is I like the fact that they actually try to write a little bit in there. They didn't just like, hey, let's put bland characters in here and then he just kills them and then roll credits. They actually try to put a little thought into the movie. And some people I don't think like this. Me personally, I thought it was a good step. I like the fact that they try to add a little depth to it, because I think the slasher films as the 80s wound down, came to an end, and rolled into the 90s, people got tired of that formula so much. It worked at first, of course, because it was something fresh and new, and that's fine. But when you have characters like Michael, Jason, and so on, eventually you do need to try to change a little bit. I'm not saying you got to try to make it Shakespeare or anything real in depth, but I think what they did here was a nice balance, in my opinion. And so that's my 3 pros, and let's talk about a few cons. There was a few scenes where, while the kills were great and things, I liked it more when Michael was dealing with more of like one-on-one or 2 to 3 people maybe. When he killed the firefighters, like a huge group of people, I didn't like that as much. I feel like the kills in these slasher movies need to be a little bit more insular and intimate. And when he takes on a large group of people, to me, it kind of loses the horror aspect of it. It can showcase maybe the abilities of the killer some, but to me, it makes it less intimate that way. Number 2, con. I don't know. I can't. You have a lot going on, and this goes back to my pro, actually, the story. But you do jump around a lot. I can't really say this is a con, but some people might think so because you jump around to a lot of different things here and there. But to me, it's not so much a con, but it is something that if you want something to be focused on one thing and go from A to B, you might be a little disjointed by that. Don't know. And another con, I don't know. I can't think of one. I liked it. Another pro, I will say, now that this just came to mind, is the movie is very atmospheric. Shot very well. You have some flashback scenes, and the way they implement some things is very cool. So I thought the atmosphere was really nice. And I think out of the whole franchise, this is one of my top 3 favorite Halloween films. And I know I'll catch some flack for that. But the heavy metal hillbilly don't care about other people's opinions, because the only opinion that matters is mine. So, but anyway, so I recommend Halloween Kills. If I was going to give it a rating out of 10, I'd give it I think a 7. 7.5 with the Dirty Dancing reference, I mean, Michael pulls off a great lift there with that firefighter, man. I mean, if they ever remake Dirty Dancing, put this scene in there. You got gold. So, Halloween Kills. Happy Halloween and check it out.